Okay, so we started the recording. If you don't want to be on the recording, go ahead and mute your mic and stop your video down at the bottom left, and you won't be in this. But I am Mr. Moody. I'm the athletic director here at Yorktown Middle School. I'm glad that you all could make it. I like the way these Zooms are set up. It makes it a lot easier for the parent meetings, and we can record it so we can put it up on YouTube for people that missed or anybody that just wants to go back and watch the meetings. So we're going to begin with concussion protocol things. We have stopped. We used to do impact testing in the past. We stopped that now. Now we basically go through Brooke Wagner, our corporation nurse, for everything. If a student has concussion-like symptoms or just really anything that happens, Coach Harp's been trained to intervene there, make sure that the kids are okay. And then we kind of follow up with Brooke and hopefully your family medical doctor. So we like a lot of the process to go through your doctor, obviously, because they have more experience with your child. But Brooke Wagner's the one that tells me, hey, so-and-so twisted an ankle. They are not cleared to practice or do anything for so many days. And then she tells me once they are cleared, or Kay Roberts. So that's kind of how we're handling things now. It makes it a lot easier on me. I am not a medical professional, so it just makes everything easier. And it went really well last year. So when it comes to grades, here at Yorktown, we expect them to be student athletes. So I do personally check grades at the midterm and at the quarter. If a student has 2 F or failing grades at the midterm or the quarter, they are automatically ineligible. We do not let them go turn in 5 assignments on that day and become eligible once they are ineligible. They have 2 weeks to get that grade up, and we are firm about the 2 weeks because we want the kids to take the grades seriously all the time, not just when it's time to check grades. So that's kind of how we handle that. Like I said, I am firm on that. I do not go back on any of those. We've had it in the past where, they said, I was able to get an assignment in. Am I eligible now? And I check in 2 weeks. So at that 2-week time frame, if they are still, if they still have 2 failing grades, then it's another 2 weeks. If they are passing, if they only have one F or fewer, they are then eligible and they may return. Now, when a student is ineligible, we do allow them to practice. We do not allow them to travel to away meets. And obviously we do not allow them to participate in home meets. But, obviously we want them to stay with the team and practice because we want them to know what they're missing out on, and hopefully they have something to work towards. So obviously keep up on the grades. We are kind of full swing now. So this first quarter's tough for some students. They struggle to get some assignments in. So just stay on top of Power School, and we won't see any surprises, hopefully. When it comes to playing time for cross country, obviously a lot of the things that we do in cross country are just everybody gets to run, with the exception of county and with the exception of conference. Those are determined by Coach Harp. She is there at every practice. She's there at every meet. She sees the way the kids run. She sees, who has earned a spot in those particular meets. And I kind of stand behind her on those decisions. She also will talk to any athlete that wonders about, why was I not a part of conference? Why was I not a part of county? Those are conversations that she will gladly have. And we want the students to have those conversations with Coach Harp. Like, we want the kids to advocate for themselves, go have those conversations. It's a good growing moment for a lot of them. So we like that. That said, if you ever have any questions and you feel like you want to talk to Coach Harp or myself, send us an email and we'll gladly answer. So, but that's kind of how we handle playing time. Everybody will get to run a lot for sure. So it will be a good year. When it comes to conduct, we don't really have a lot of the issues other sports have. We don't have people yelling at officials when it comes to cross country for the most part. So we don't run into a lot of that, but Obviously, we want to represent Yorktown really well. We preach that to the kids. It's nice to have role models out there, supporting everybody, cheering on all the runners. That typically is kind of the atmosphere I see at a lot of cross country meets anyways. But it's always great to see, and it's nice to see when we have that from the parents towards the kids. Kids love it. So keep that up. I love seeing that every year. I'm excited to get to some of the meets here and see all the excitement that we have for cross country. COVID changes. So right now, as the recording of this video, we don't have any kind of restrictions aside from kids have to wear masks on buses. It's a federal mandate and just the way it is right now. Now, obviously, I know some of you watching the news, we see some things happening around us. I don't have any news that's any different than we are a full go. We don't have restrictions. We're probably not going to have, we didn't have many restrictions last year because it's all outdoors. You guys can spread out in parks. We didn't have a gate, so we weren't really doing restrictions last year at all. So I don't really anticipate that happening much here. But you never know. Things are changing. So the one thing that I do want to stress, though, is make sure your kids have a mask with them in their gear or whatever. So when we do go on buses, we're not like, oh no, I forgot my mask. Just have it on you. They have to have it on the buses. It's not my decision or anybody else's, not Coach Harp. That's how federal mandate. It's how we got to do it. So just have one in their bag ready. So when they go on any bus trip or whatever, they're just good to go. Fan attendance, like I said, we don't do a gate. So aside from conference where they're going to make you pay for your car when you go there, we're not paying for cross country for the most part. They all take place typically at public parks. The one thing that we do want to be careful of with our own venue is that our course does cross where a lot of cars are going. I typically try to stay at that intersection that's right in Morrows Meadows, so I can stop a lot of that. But we will need help with that throughout the year. So if I can't be there, somebody's got to be there making sure that cars hopefully are going to stop anyways. But just, stopping the cars when the kids are running across at that part of the race. It typically isn't a huge issue. Sometimes we'll have like a baptism down in the river where people are like, nope, I'm going through. Happened last year. It was a little bizarre. But yeah, as far as that goes, most people are pretty understanding. But we got to watch out for that. And then obviously we're not really using the school facilities. We're using the public park. So, we do a good job typically of keeping things nice. But, just stressing that, throwing things away in the trash can, just taking care of that park for sure is always going to be great for everybody in the long run. As far as the rest of it, concessions aren't really a big part of what we do. If you care, we are doing concessions at our own home events like volleyball and stuff this year, but it's all going to be prepackaged like it was last year. We aren't requiring masks of any spectators or anything at events, especially since it's outdoors. We're not really doing any of that right now. That could change, but as of right now, I don't see that happening. Fall pictures are next Monday, August 23rd. Will be right after school, and I'll have a schedule after I talk to all the coaches and see what works best for each team. But we'll be taking pictures on that Monday right after school. Your child, hopefully, where they sent home today the forms. Your child received a form today that was sent home. If you don't have that or that got lost somewhere, no worries. I always post something on Twitter right beforehand. You can order that stuff online pretty easily. So going that route is fine. I do have the schedule posted on YorktownAthletics.com. As some of you, or maybe none of you, are aware, your meet this Wednesday was actually moved back. That was a decision by Muncie Central. I don't think it was COVID related. I think it was more schedule related on them. They're trying to move a lot of their stuff early in the year back. But that was moved back. It's actually going to be a 3-way meet at home with Southside. So that's moved there. It's not that big of a deal, but obviously kind of lose one meet there, which is kind of a bummer. But anyways, on yorktownathletics.com, if you go there, you'll find the schedule. It updates whenever I update anything in the computer. So that meet should be shown as canceled right now. And you can see Northside showing up with Southside later on. I believe it's the 30th. So yorktownathletics.com, obviously that's where you want to go find those schedules. Along with that, I do have a page on the corporation website. You go to the middle school page and you'll see From the Athletic Director. I post bigger updates on there. Things like when we do winter sports, I'll put all the coaches and their emails and things like that there. But huge updates, go there. And then if you don't follow me on Twitter, you should. YMS Athletics on Twitter. I post every update on that website. So go there. If you don't have a Twitter, just download it, follow me. That's it. Just one person. And you will see every update you need to find. We got a lot of stuff on there. So that's all that I have right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Coach Harp.
Okay. Make sure I'm speaking loud enough. Well, thank you for covering a lot of the stuff that I need to discuss. So appreciate that. Practice is going great. And we as parents need to make sure that the kids have an alternative to pickup, because we're staying a little later than 4:30. And it hasn't been an issue because it hasn't been the same person. If it rains, we canceled practice. I stayed after school, made sure that everybody either went home on a bus or things like that. So just continue to be diligent about 4:30 practice is over. Everybody goes home. If something happens, once in a while, I get it. We all get stuck in the car pickup line or all the sports and things. So I appreciate your help on that. Mr. Moody discussed grades and things like that. It is important as student athletes. You are a student before you are an athlete. There is homework help on Tuesday and Thursday. If you have big projects, just go ahead and send that kid home. Kids, go home, get your homework done, keep your grades up. Like Mr. Moody said, we check grades. And I'm never disappointed if you just say, hey, coach, I got this project. I got to study for a test. Run later. It's totally okay. Just run later. Let's see what else. Uniforms. The athletes got uniforms today. Some of you that I haven't seen in a couple of days, I already sized you up and put your name on a uniform. So it'll be waiting when you return. And if they try them on, I wash them all personally through this pandemic, but wash them again if you need to. Please, no bleach, no major hot heat where the iron-on stuff comes off or melts. Do not cut the tags off. And if it doesn't fit, bring it back in. We'll size you up differently, the best we can, okay? And away meets, we travel, we have masks. Always have a mask in your bag. Perhaps there will be boys on one side, girls on the other. As we travel to away meets, there is going to be a white binder, and it's always in coach's bag, and it is like a sign out binder. And the sign out binder is you put your child's name, and if you're taking your child home, so when we travel back home on the school bus, we don't lose our student athletes. I just want to know that everybody's made it home safely, and I'm not guessing that I lost a kid somewhere. So I appreciate it's a white binder, and I will remind the kids before we get off the bus, as we get on the bus, they will hear about it constantly. Don't forget to sign the binder if you choose to leave early for parents or another practice or picking up another sibling. Our home meets, we do, like Mr. Moody said, we do need some volunteers. It's not hard work and just keeps the kids safe as we practice in the park. I always say safety in numbers. You got to bring a buddy to even go up to the restroom, especially on Fridays when we have the market over there. There's a lot more traffic and stuff. So we try to stay to ourselves, and it's always running with a buddy on those days. So we just stay safe. Our schedule, he told you about Wednesday has been rescheduled next month, so that will change. Also, if you follow Mr. YMS Athletics, we have the link for cross-country gear and shirts. It's on my Twitter, it's on Mr. Moody's YMS Athletics. So you can go and get yourself some cross-country gear or any of the other sports and just support our athletes and our teams. I don't know if I have ever mentioned my Twitter account is under my name, Alyssa, D as in David, and then Harp. So you can find me there. And I usually retweet what YMS Athletics has tweeted. So pictures Monday. And I don't think I have anything else. That was
yeah, that's good. I didn't mention the shop. Yeah, the shop closes on the 22nd. So go get some of that gear. It's pretty nice. So it's a good deal too. Their prices are relatively good. So
and there's youth sizes.
So
that's good. So
all
parents, do you have questions for us?
Yeah, anybody have any questions? Okay. So if anybody has any questions they can't think of right now, feel free to email either of us. We'll get back to you. But I appreciate everybody showing up, and I look forward to seeing all of you this year out on the courses.
Thank you.